In the 2020s, governments worldwide announced record economic recovery rates, with GDP growth hitting unprecedented highs. Stock markets soared, and investors celebrated. However, beneath the surface, this apparent prosperity masked a troubling paradox: the widening gap between the wealthy and the poor. While the economy seemed to thrive, the benefits were not evenly distributed, setting the stage for a deeper societal crisis. Large corporations reported historic profits during this period, with revenues exceeding all expectations. Skyscrapers adorned with record revenue banners showcased their success, and luxury cars filled the streets. Yet, this wealth accumulation was concentrated among the elite, leaving the majority of the population struggling to keep up with rising costs of living. The middle class, once the backbone of the economy, began to shrink as families faced financial pressures. Many were forced to downsize their homes, and budget supermarkets became increasingly crowded. This decline highlighted how economic growth was bypassing average citizens, leaving them vulnerable to poverty despite the overall recovery. Factories and industries increasingly turned to automation, replacing human workers with robots. While this boosted efficiency and corporate profits, it led to mass layoffs. Protesting workers filled the streets, demanding fair treatment and job security. This shift explained the rising poverty rates despite the growing GDP, as many lost their livelihoods. Real estate prices skyrocketed, driven by corporate investments and speculative buying. Rent spikes forced many out of their homes, leading to a surge in homelessness. Tents and makeshift shelters appeared near luxury apartment complexes, painting a stark picture of the dual reality created by economic policies favoring the wealthy. At a press conference, government officials denied the growing poverty crisis, citing overall economic growth as evidence of success. Smiling politicians stood beside misleading charts that showed rising GDP while ignoring the human cost. This systemic ignorance further alienated the public, who felt their struggles were being ignored. Food banks became a lifeline for the working poor, with lines stretching for blocks. Families, including children holding empty bowls, waited for hours to receive basic necessities. This scene humanized the statistics, showing the real impact of economic policies that prioritized growth over equity. A TV split screen vividly captured the paradox. On one side, a booming stock market with rising indices. On the other, homeless encampments under bridges. This visual juxtaposition highlighted the dual risk of economic recovery. While the wealthy thrived, the most vulnerable were left behind, creating a ticking time bomb of social unrest. As wealth disparity reached a breaking point, protests erupted across the nation. What began as peaceful demonstrations turned violent, with burning cars and "Tax the Rich" graffiti dominating the streets. This societal upheaval was a direct response to the failure of economic policies to address inequality, signaling a desperate cry for change. The story ends with a haunting question from a child: why are we poor if the economy is good? Standing in a dirty playground with billboards advertising economic success in the distance, this moment encapsulates the irony and tragedy of a system that measures success by numbers rather than people's well-being.